In my life, as a musician, I did my own thing and created my own type of music. It turned out to be music that anybody could really perform using the chord workstations, especially the chord Karma. And now, what I've been doing with this new type of art, which I call Steadman Zenhead, because in the 70s, late 70s, and in the 80s, I studied a lot of it and read a lot about Zen. I never meditated, but I read a lot about it. And I probably did a lot of walking meditation. And I know a lot of it's black and white. And one thing that I always like to do a lot with my art is to be spontaneous. I like the lines, I like throwing it on, I like the English. I just enjoy this part of it. For years, 9 years ago, on Mother's Day, I started my original technique where putting 3 or 4 colors in a paint pan and then covering the canvas, which would be a paint top, 6 by 9 feet, and then I would throw paint on it like I did now with different things, and sometimes with my hand or a paint stick or a coat hanger that looked like tongs. But now, after so many of those, this seems very invigorating. Now this here is a method I've used to make something a little more interesting by putting them on top. And now I'm going to take this one down and put it away. Over here, let that dry. And now, let me do this one. Now it's got an interesting frame to it. So it should be nice. What I like to do is I like to do an initial splash. And usually I only use 2 fingers and my thumb a little bit. But the 2 fingers are major. And it's how much paint you put on, and you got to hit it right smack to get that. And I used to like, I think of it like the Three Stooges when Moe used to poke the guys with his 2 fingers. Well, that's the same thing that I do with my 2 fingers. But I try to put enough paint on so I get a nice splat when I put it on. I'll show you. That's nice. Now, I still got paint on my hands. So, let's put a little more line work. I like the line work myself. And with my company, United Prototypes, what I do is I make affordable art for the people that really would like to have some. And what I do is I make a whole bunch of something, I pick out the ones that I like the most, and I keep them. And the other ones I sell cheaply. If someone likes something that I like particularly that I made, I'd be willing to let it go. I always let it go. What I like about this is a little spot and a spontaneous. Now, you see when I had the border and I had them all on top of each other? That was an interesting thing that I started. I just decided to do that with the paintbrush. A little paintbrush action on it. To give it something different, to try something, because I'm always trying something new. And these could be put in any direction. And recently I saw a documentary on Ralph Steadman. And it was very, very, when I seen what he did with a paintbrush, I goes, this guy has got it. Now, with the last one, we have a particular type of border. Now, it's interesting, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some smaller characters all over it. And you don't have to go straight. Go diagonal, give your hand a spin, have some fun. Because bang, that's it. Boom, 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 boom. Now, I could leave it like that. I could. And that would be fine because I got the border. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put some smaller lines. And sometimes I'll only use one finger and flick it, or the other finger. And the main finger, that one's got the most power. Now the second finger doesn't have the same power, but you get that effect. You do two at once, you get the dots. And believe me, you may not see it that much, but there are dots going on here. Now, I always like how these lines go on after that initial splatter. You know, it's like electric corpuscles or something. It's like electricity. Boy, I'll tell you, years ago when I did it with all the different colors that I did, and you can see that, you know, that's difficult. Because sometimes it looks good, sometimes it looks okay. This is a lot easier with putting that line stuff on and make it interesting because it's only one color. Now I'm going to do another big one with black that I made especially. No, I got another small one. Okay. Ooh, look. Okay. Now I got another small one I'm going to do. So, let's put this one over here. Let it dry. I usually like to keep it in the angle that I had it in. But the nice thing about these is they work good in any angle. Let me see, that looks okay. They work good in any angle. Now what Ralph Steadman did, and I don't want to imitate Ralph Steadman because, you know, he's too original to try to copy him. But what I seen him do and what inspired me was he put some paint on the brush and went bang. Now, that's a pretty interesting technique. Boom, 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 boom. Now, I don't want to be imitative of Ralph Steadman, so that's why I don't use the brush. Sometimes, now I'm thinking of doing little, you know, things around the edge like this, but me personally, I like to do it all by hand because then you get the sensitivity. Just put a little bit of paint on. You don't got to put a lot, you don't got to put a lot. You get that nice splatter. Twist your hand like this. Boom, boom, watch. Get close to it. Bing, 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 bing. Now, you may not think you got a lot of paint on your hands, on your fingers, but you do. Boom. Don't be afraid to go a couple times. People ask me, how do you know when it's enough and when it's too much? I say, it's, I don't know, it's just your own imagination. I like to make the lines. Any mistake that happens, that's fine. Because what it is making those thin lines. That's what turns me on. You know, and you can do it with just a couple of fingers. Making a couple thin lines. So, this one's got enough. You know, you don't want to go overboard. Okay. Now, we We got one more we're going to be doing that's white.